Welcome to the Sideline. I'm Andy Katz. Well, this is going to be a home for a lot of original content in college sports and beyond. Now, of course, you're going to get a lot of that similar content that I produce for NCAA platforms, for Big Ten Network, and other places. But I needed a home for a lot of those interviews with the newsmakers in this space. So where are you going to find it? Right here at the Sideline. Let's get to it. And welcome, everyone, to a little bit of a recap here. I'm Andy Katz with Jay Lee, the CEO of AUBL. After a very successful summer season, it was a little condensed in the first year. Jay, we talked prior to it happening. So I want to get a little bit of a recap of how it all went down in August and how you felt like the success and what could be next for the AUBL. And really recap a little bit for what exactly it is for people who might not have seen our first conversation.
Thank you, Andy, for having me back. So as we mentioned, AUBL is going to be the March Madness of Asia. We had basically the best university basketball programs all together in Hangzhou, China for a 1-week tournament this past, in the last week of August. And they were there competing for 6 game days. Eventually, NCCU for Chinese Taipei was the first ever champions of AUBL. So the competition was very good. Basically, imagine this as kind of a Elite A or basically the March Madness of Asia. So all the best schools from Greater China, Japan, Korea, Mongolia, they were basically very competitive, and the level is very similar. So every game we had, you literally didn't know who was going to win till the last couple of minutes. So the competition was very entertaining to watch. And also, of course, we also were able to get some big time sponsor and partners, even for our inaugural edition. We had Under Armour to be our jersey and game ball partner. We have our JP Morgan to be our banking partner. We had, a couple big, Chinese companies to be our, title sponsors. So I think overall, we welcomed more than 30,000 people to the arena over the course of 6 days. The opening day and the finals were all sold out, and we had guests like Joe Tsai, Yao Ming on the court side for the finals. So it was actually a very successful inaugural edition of AUBL. As you said, it's condensed this year because we were trying to build the case study. But starting late next year, we're gonna do the home and away season. Before that, we're gonna have probably one more. Next summer, we're gonna have one more condensed tournament. But then 3 months later, we're gonna start the home and away season. So
we're talking about
packed.
The sort of the back end of 2026 into 2027, if I'm correct. Is that right?
So we had what we call AUBL 2025, and we're gonna have next summer we're gonna have another AUBL 2026, and then next November we're gonna have the start of AUBL 26-27 season. So in that way, we'll make sure every year there's a championship awarded to a team.
So in terms of home and away, you rattled off a bunch of countries, obviously in Asia. What are the chances there will be home and away between these universities that are, across Asia?
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? So we have this, 18 months launch plan, started with what we had last month, and then we're gonna do it again next August, and then starting next November, we're starting the home and away. So the tip of the home and away means that the schools will travel to each other campuses cross country to compete. So that will be a truly pan-regional international platform where home and away format is implemented. So we're actually very excited because a lot of the schools competed against each other for the first time in our tournament last month. But again, they were all in a centralized location. Having them compete on the road trip, it's actually quite exciting.
So the other thing I was thinking, what are the chances long range where we could see some of these universities come to the United States for exhibitions, maybe at the Barclays Center or on campuses? I mean, years ago, there used to be like foreign teams that would come and play exhibitions against universities in this country. Sort of went away for that for a while. That could come back, or also plenty of United States universities take foreign trips. They don't go to Asia as much. They'll maybe go to Australia. They'll go to Europe, Canada. For the most part, maybe the Caribbean. But what are the chances you could, have some of those exposures for these universities in Asia?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely. So before COVID, I think Pac-12 did a couple years
Yes.
bringing the teams every year to Shanghai to play a couple actually regular season games. So that was actually very interesting. I think Alibaba was very involved being the sponsor of that event as well. So what I definitely see down the road in the next couple years is I see NCAA teams going to Asia to play against some of the teams from our league. I totally see that happening in the near future. Actually, I'm in the States right now. I just visited schools like USC, Purdue over the past couple of days, and whenever I told the coaches and the administration about AUBL, they all seem to be pretty excited about a more elevated platform of college basketball in Asia, and I think with NCAA also changing some of the rules now, I think the rules before is or the current in place rule is they can only travel abroad once every 4 years. But I heard rumors that it's going to be shortened to every 2 years. So I think that's really good for us, and I think the fans in Asia will be excited to see some of the American D1 teams playing against some of their home teams.
Well, the other thing too is I know that the NCAA tournament is televised internationally, certainly the Final Four, and that could certainly be something that can only grow if some of these universities obviously play in the United States or those teams in the summer come over. So a highly successful venture. What kind of feedback did you get from the players that were participating in this experience?
So the players were actually shocked in a very positive way because they never played in the arena in the venue where there was so much production value. We literally installed, I don't know, 500 square feet of LED screens around the court to show animations so it's kind of like a 3D virtual court we created, we called it. So if you were able to catch some of the footage from our broadcasting stream it looks actually very, very good. It looks actually very, very good. So the players, a lot of them told me that the moment they walk onto the court, they were like very shocked by how many screens are there, and they feel much more motivated to play. And again, the competition really helped them grow because it's the first time they play against a lot of the different teams, so they're getting used to the different styles, different pace. So they're actually elevating and learning from competing with those new opponents. So overall, I would say the feedback I got from the players, the coaches, the schools, the audience is I think what we had in Hangzhou last month went beyond everybody's expectations.
Lastly, for you, Jay, I see on your jersey you've got AUBL and you got Under Armour. So much of this is getting buy-in, as you said at the beginning of this, from sponsorship. What did you hear from them in terms of the payoff of, because you got to go to them and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And
Yep.
then they see it, when they want to, then you got to go back to them. What kind of, what was the response from the people that you need going forward?
Yes. So again, when I first approached them, it was really just an idea, a vision, right? I think they had to really believe in me and my team executing it. But I'm sure there was doubt. There was doubt how successful, how impactful this could be. But I'm just very pleased after a week of the competition, all the content, all the buzz were created inside of Asia and outside of Asia, basically in the whole industry was very, very good. So the sponsors, some of the CEOs and the managing directors of the brands all came back to me say, we're gonna do it again. Let's talk about how we can expand our partnerships for the years to come already. So they're all fired up, ready to start the conversation to how can we enlarge and expand the partnerships. So that's, I think, a very good sign for me.
Sounds great. Jay, we can't wait to see how this continues to grow in the coming years. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. And as always, you can follow all our social media content at the Sideline with a K. Our content appears on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube, TikTok, X, and Instagram. Check out all the content at the Sideline with a K.